This is the Longines PANDA Conquest Chronograph, and I think this brand has really stepped up their game in recent years. Now, from my own perspective, they really only used to excel with heritage inspired releases and then the occasional contemporary hit. But I think these days it's a little different. It seems that regardless of style, this brand is creating some really compelling or very well rounded watches. In fact, some of my viewers say that this brand, that Longines, has stepped up so much that they are now the principal competitors to Tudor and they lead the market at this price segment. And I'm not sure that I'm quite there yet, but the way Longines is headed, it wouldn't surprise me. They're doing some really good things. Now, I'm excited to showcase this new release, but before jumping into the details, I want to first thank Exquisite Timepieces. They sent me this new release to feature. They are a great family-owned Longines AD in Naples, Florida, and I will link them below. Now again, this is the new Conquest Chronograph. It's a recent release. It's part of the revamped Conquest family, but the Conquest line itself dates back to the 1950s. So it is long running, but I wouldn't consider this necessarily a heritage release. It feels very contemporary. In fact, I'm glad to see a new era of design with this traditional panda color configuration. It seems like panda is all the rage right now because of the Panda Daytona, but this one would be my pick of the four new colors that Longines released for this new Conquest Chronograph. Now let's take a look at the detail work first. Let's go in on the dial on a macro level. The base of this dial is a slightly reflective opaline finish, and then there will be three sunken sub dials here, sub registers in a very dark gunmetal color that almost appears black. Now this has a sunburst effect to the tone as well as some snaling under these indexes. The dial also has the winged hourglass logo, which I know a lot of you really enjoy, as do I. And then it has very dimensional curved, polished, applied markers. I think the markers look exceptionally good. In fact, these are the nicest elements on the dial that are visible under the macro lens. Now, under a portion of these markers is a black ring that has that concentric snaling texture. The hands will be beveled and bi-finished. They're nice and long. They're very legible. And Longines makes use of red as an accent color. This will be found on portions of these needle-style hands as well as the surrounds of these small rectangular loomed areas that are just subset or inset of these applied markers. My only real criticism of the layout is the application of the text Conquest and Automatic that's found just under the logo. From my own perspective, it just feels a little bit forced, a little bit cluttered, and I'm one of those minimalist watch fans that likes to see less text, less tradition on the dial execution. Now, there is no date complication present here to break up the dial symmetry, so I think the overall look is just very balanced, very well-rounded. And all of these details will be visible under a sapphire crystal that has dual applied anti-reflective coatings or layers on the top of the crystal as well as the underside of the crystal. So this ARC application really makes a positive difference. In fact, I think it's so well done on this model that it rivals Omega, that sits a little bit above Longines in the brand hierarchy structure for the Swatch group. Now let's go to the case and the way it fits. This is an aggressive Conquest style that I think is finished really well, and because of the shape, it sits proud while it's being worn. My wrist size is 7.25 inches in circumference, and I really love the inclusion of a ceramic bezel insert. The indexing is white with red found for the tachymeter designation. The polished nature of the ceramic just adds some really nice light play, some visual interest, which I enjoy. The watch will come on an updated bracelet. Now, the links are short, they fully articulate, they're comfortable, the look really suits the design of the case, but unfortunately the clasp is not the new milled sport style with the quick adjustment system. It's a rather basic butterfly style, and I think it's really the only aspect of the watch that is in clear need of an upgrade. So the Conquest family is a very sporty family. It's a contemporary family, and I'm not quite sure why Longines neglected to add the sport clasp that they recently developed. It seems uh, I just don't understand why. It seems like this would have been a prime opportunity. That said, let's turn the watch over. You will see the L898 caliber behind a sapphire display caseback. This movement is sharply executed. I was very happy to see that this has a display caseback. This movement is based on the A31 ETA movement, and it has a chronograph module affixed to the dial side of the caliber. So this caliber has 27 joules, a 4 hertz beat rate, and up to 59 hours of power reserve. The hairspring, like many new Longines movements, is going to be silicon, or what they call monocrystalline silicon, and will be resistant to magnetic fields. Because of the placement of the chronograph module, the function pushers are slightly offset. They sit a little bit higher than the main crown line at the 3 o'clock position, and then when you engage the chronograph, the elapsed minutes and hours will move simultaneously with the movement, so there will be no pronounced tick that marks each elapsed minute or elapsed hour. So the chronograph timekeeping for the elapsed timer is going to be a slow crawl. Now, I like the fact that this movement is visible, but if I could have my own choice, if I'm going to nitpick like watch collectors seem to do, I would have preferred the L688 chronograph. That one is a little bit more sophisticated just from a component perspective. I think it's a little bit more beautiful to look at with that blued column wheel. It also has a slightly longer power reserve. So if I could have my choice, I would have liked that one. I would have paid a little bit more for that movement, but it's a minor quibble. I don't think this 898 is any reason to stay away from this Conquest Chronograph, provided you like all the other aspects of this piece. Now, on the whole, I think this is a very sharp, very versatile chronograph. I love the new Conquest line. I think this is a great addition to the new line. I love this size. I love the apparent quality on display with this watch. I think this is an example of a brand moving in a very promising direction, a brand that is now justified, I think, at higher prices that we may not have been used to seeing them at, and I look forward to further Longines changes or additions and what exactly they will be doing with the Conquest line. Now, if you have any questions, please ask me. I will respond to you in the comment section. If you are shopping for any Longines model, please reach out to my own AD, Exquisite Timepieces. I have purchased from them for years. I've borrowed excellent watches like this one to feature from them for years. I definitely recommend any of the sales staff, and a link will be below. If you got something from this video, or if you would like to see me grow in channel size and YouTube reach, please like this video. Please subscribe for more. I would appreciate that. Thank you.